option D between your Baez, Green, and Torkelson. How about Kerry Carpenter? He showed, I mean, between Green and Torkelson, he showed more consistent power than the two of them, I think. And I mean, adding Carpenter, if you took Carpenter from the first 2 weeks and added it into this lineup instead of batting Nick Maton cleanup, you've added Carpenter cleanup. Runs per game might have a few more of those.
Yeah, I like that. I see. I kind of not forgot about him, but the offense has just been so good. You kind of just have been focusing on the other guys. But yeah, Carpenter could be a big part of this. I think if Carpenter, when he comes back, who do you guys think is going to get sent down? Like, that's kind of what I was thinking because I really wasn't sure. Like, who do you think is going to be the odd man out when Carpenter is healthy?
Well, it's tough because Carpenter and Badu can only play outfield, right? Like you could say, well, Maton's not performing, so send him down, but he can play just about everywhere. And it's like, well, there's still some value there. And they have other guys who are playing everywhere now too, so maybe they could do it that way. But I don't know. I mean, Carpenter just had. They said he had a setback, right? He was feeling some discomfort, so I don't know when we might see him again. Um, but yeah, it's problematic. VG said right here. Yeah, Carpenter is another guy who murders fastballs, kind of like Maton, but he's a guy who's going to get fed a steady diet of breaking balls and off speed. He's going to have to adjust to that. I've been impressed with Carpenter. Seems to have made strides in terms of his plate discipline in the big leagues. First, it started in AAA, and like he was like a 6% walk guy in AA, and he's just been more selective. So I feel fairly good about him being able to stay productive. But it might be tough for him if they just pound him with sliders under his hands every day. Like back in the day, that was what got Brennan Bosch. He didn't even strike out too much. He was still striking out like 20%, but they would just throw a slider under his hands and he'd make weak contact, and that was it. So we do need to see Carpenter kind of figure out a way to avoid that. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue. Like he came up last year and produced. He came up this year and produced, and it's just one of those things where you just kind of keep doubting the guy because he was never highly touted. But if you're just basing it, like if you never knew anything about prospects at all, you'd be like, well, yeah, he's probably their best young hitter. So that's a fun point, Cameron.